Hello, world! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. As you very well know, we are a family show, and Jedi will likely not be toddling in here immediately. She's taking a nap with Diana, and Diana is a little under the weather, but that's okay. I have not just moral, but somewhat of an audience support. Today's TLDR topic is the BlackBerry Priv review. Did I say that right? Priv?
Yeah.
They don't call it Priv?
No, they call it Priv, like
okay.
privilege or
privacy. That makes sense. So I unboxed it a while ago, and Eric's been using it as his primary phone. It is his phone for all intents and purposes. We gave it away. And instead of just doing a review after looking at something for a couple of minutes, which is what some tech reviewers do, by the way, they don't really care about the devices they look at, Eric's been using it as his daily driver, and so I thought it would be great for him to lead the review. I heard something. I heard Jedi crying. Yeah, so hopefully this is great to do live every weekday. We don't know what's going to happen here, apart from the review, and then after that, Pirillo picks, and then the regular old routine, answering questions and talking about the news with the patrons, and I do that every single weekday. Are you ready for the BlackBerry Priv review? Not delivered by me, because I haven't been using it. Eric Eichmeyer, who's the person who helps process a lot of the stuff that you might watch on a regular basis, split out and spit out, really, from TLDR, the Pirillo picks, the topic of the day. He has been using his BlackBerry Priv, the one I unboxed and gave to him, and thanks to T-Mobile for providing that. That's the best way, I think, to deliver a review, talking to someone who's actually using it as their daily driver. So, weird stuff may happen. It's a family show. Everybody's family's over here. Jedi's currently crying, and I'm going to hand it over to Eric. So we swap spots.
Swap spots. Now I'm in the driver's seat, as it were.
Are you comfy?
Yes. Yeah, I'm comfy. Yes.
Where's your BlackBerry? I thought this was your BlackBerry.
Well, I took it out of the case.
Oh, you've got a case?
Yes. This is a very cool case. What this is a smart case, and like I can have it on, so I've got it on like this, and even just unlocking it, we'll just bring it back to the home screen real quick so that I'm not showing everybody conversations between the two of us. So I've got in here, and this is very cool what it does. So this is the smart case. You just close it, and look what happens.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it just gives you a clock with all your notifications. I can actually swipe up and swipe through my notifications that way. So it's pretty cool.
I didn't know. That's kind of like a bonus in this review.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do you think overall? Give me a general feel. Was this a good move for you? What'd you move from? Were you interested to begin with? Are you still interested? Are you happy? Are you not happy?
So in order to get there, I've got to go through my smartphone journey.
Great.
So my first smartphone was a Palm Trio 650.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so that's going to date me. So the next thing that I went to was an iPhone 3G, then an iPhone 3GS. And then, for reasons that I don't want to get into too much, I went to a Motorola Droid with Verizon, and ended up, that was an okay phone. After that, where did I go? I went to a LG, some cheap piece of, and then after that, I went to a Nokia, or not Nokia, that was a Nexus, a Nexus 5. And then after that, a Microsoft Lumia 640, which was the phone I had before this one right here.
So you moved from a Windows phone back to Android.
Yes. Okay. So so I've been all over the place.
Which is pretty average, I'd say, for most people. I mean, very rarely do you find someone who's only used one thing and one thing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the older they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that we have that context, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, this is the best Android phone I've ever used.
Ugh.
And I'm saying that over the Nexus 5. And
really?
Yes. I'm saying that over the Nexus 5. And here's why. It's because you get the stock Android experience with a few bonuses. Now, BlackBerry did this very intentionally. They made it so that is a stock Android experience, but you get a few special things. Like, for instance, if I want to check out, see, I've got these dots underneath each one of these. Mm-hmm. Pull that up. That's a widget.
Oh.
As opposed to having a widget just on the screen. I can push this up. Look, there's all my text messages. And it can show me that. I can, let's get this out of the way. I can go here. There's my Outlook inbox. And so, yeah, instead of having my screen cluttered with widgets, I can have different icons on the screen and then just swipe up from that, and it gives me whichever widget I've chosen to be the default action for that particular icon.
Huh. That's pretty smart mod. Have you noticed any performance, discrepancies then by doing something like that?
First of all, Liz says Eric is on the internet. Screenshot that one.
There you go.
So performance-wise, it's very fast. We got 6 cores in here. So you've got that processor performance, plus it's got like 4 gigs of RAM or something like that. So it's very high-end, 32 gigs of storage. Plus I've added a 32 gig SIM card or SD card in there. So that's good to go. It's faster than my old Nexus 5, which that should tell you something. Now here's the drawback. It gets warm. If you're using it, it will get warm. And there's been some things I've noticed that, like some stock apps that come on it, that I've actually had to disable some of the functions, and that has taken the temperature and the battery usage down significantly.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's something. So the defaults, you may consider suggesting that people kind of disable them.
Mm-hmm. And part of that is I don't want to name any names on that as to what they are, because one of them is who supplied the phone.
That's
good. That's good input for them. Okay, so the T-Mobile app that comes stock on it is it will drain the battery if you keep the diagnostics on. So turn off the diagnostics, and that will actually increase your battery performance. It will keep it from getting so hot.
Wow. I don't know if I would have even gone through all that, to see what was going on. But, in using this on a daily basis for well over a month now, you would probably know.
It was late January, wasn't it?
Was it? Wow.
So it's been 2 months.
I guess it's been so long. What do you think about the keyboard?
The keyboard.
Now, we're talking about the physical keyboard.
The physical keyboard. The one that just popped up that you missed. That was so funny. I was just like... It's a BlackBerry.
Of course it has
to have a keyboard. Naturally. Now, here's one thing that's cool about it. Watch this.
Whoa!
So, it's touch sensitive. It's capacitive. And there's a couple cool things about that.
But they're physical buttons. Those
are physical buttons.
Right.
At the same time, see, like I've got this going on? I can scroll up and down on Bing here.
Huh. Okay,
just using the keyboard, which that's not a feature you'd think with a keyboard.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing is in dark situations, it's nice and backlit. But one thing I was able to do is I got into an IRC chat room using this, and I was able to hold a chat conversation with just the keyboard, which I think is a testament to having a physical keyboard, because sometimes if you're typing some long messages, it does not feel comfortable to be typing on that touchscreen keyboard, which is an option on this. Sometimes it's nice to have the physical keyboard so that you have that tactile feedback so that you can move a little bit faster. And one thing that's nice about it also, if you're typing, for instance, let's give me a random word.
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Okay, so I'm typing in thumbnail. And one thing it's not doing it right now, but one thing it will do is if you're getting close, it will actually give you 3 options at the bottom
like
here.
An autocorrect.
Yeah, like an autocorrect without autocorrecting it. And if you're going along, it's more like an autofill. So if you see one of those 3 options is the word you're typing, you can swipe up in that region of the keyboard and it will fill up the rest of that word in his space.
Wow.
So it's very fast in that respect.
That's pretty impressive, because, on the Surface, so to speak, not to be confused with the Surface, I don't know if I'd necessarily be inclined to want to go with a physical keyboard, but it sounds like they've kind of gone beyond just the limitations of what a keyboard might be used for.
Right. Yes, it's definitely... It's taking the idea of the keyboard and bring it to the next level, combining it with a touchpad surface, which... I think that's a great marriage of the two ideas.
It sounds like it. And if you've been using it and you find it to be practical to use, I think that's a testament.
Oh, yes.
As anything. The camera.
The camera. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's good as the iPhone camera, but it's a pretty significantly good camera. It's made by this company named Schneider Kreuznach, which is a German company. And it's an 18 megapixel camera, which, by the way, is the same resolution as my SLR, which is a Canon SL1. And it takes pretty decent photos, has optical image stabilization, always on, you can't turn it off, which I don't think that's a bad thing. But also has the ability to use the OIS while taking video, and that can be switched on or off, but it does limit the amount of resolution you can have. Now, the thing about the quality is I wouldn't say it's as good as an iPhone's quality, especially like the 6S or the 6S Plus, but I would say it is a significant step over quite a few cameras out there. I would actually include my old Lumia with that, which is known for having a good camera. Yeah. I would also include my Nexus 5.
But the Nexus 5 didn't really have a good camera.
That's very true. That's Johnny in the background, and he is here.
It's still good. We're watching the Last Dinosaur.
The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, he's watching The Good Dinosaur on Blu-ray.
I'm not as up on all the dinosaur movies. What happened?
His headphones fell off. That's
headphones,
what he's...
Do you need them back on?
Yeah.
Get your headphones back on. There you go.
Family show. Good times.
Well, if you can't talk about practical use of technology in relation to people around you, what good is it?
Correct.
Now, you're the only one who uses this?
I am the only one who uses this particular phone, yes. He's got his headphones around his neck here because they fell off of his head, which is larger than normal.
So, what the headphones are about? Well, now he's agitated.
Now you're not gonna. Okay, that's enough, bud.
Okay, so overall, you found it to be a good device.
Shh. I found it to be a great device.
Have you dropped it?
I have dropped it once.
Scrape scuffed.
No, the case has been very reasonable at handling that. So I haven't scraped or scuffed the phone itself.
Major negatives?
Major negatives.
Like that you feel like it sounds like you wouldn't want to. How should I say this? You want to keep using the device.
Yeah, I do want to keep using it. Absolutely. Now, the biggest negative I found is that, you see, BlackBerry is trying to get both Android users as well as the BlackBerry users, the traditional BlackBerry users. So you do have apps such as the BlackBerry Hub. What's up, bud? I know, you gotta be patient, bud. It does have the I got lost.
That's okay. It happens when Jedi wanders in here too.
It does have the BlackBerry Hub and all the traditional BlackBerry apps that comes with, such as the note-taking application, their contacts application, all that stuff. So that should be very attractive for traditional BlackBerry users. However, for me, coming from Microsoft phone, a Windows phone, it was... I could use those, but it wasn't as natural of a transition. So I loaded all the Microsoft apps onto it to make sure, like such as Outlook and what have you, to make that transition more natural. And it's for me that seemed to work. But like for instance, for BlackBerry users, they're going to like those BlackBerry apps. They're going to like having the BlackBerry Hub. Now it's probably not as functional as what's on the BlackBerry. I've never used an actual BlackBerry, and he's on camera.
Okay, so overwhelmingly good things.
Overwhelmingly good things.
Favorite things about the camera.
Johnny, go sit down, bud.
He's kind of like a living comment section.
He is.
It's pretty amazing. Usually you don't get comments in 3D, but we're getting comments in 3D.
Sure, where the keyboard.
Hey, don't look at chat. Chat's always going to throw you off.
So, first of all, the keyboard. That's actually a good transition, though. The keyboard, I think, is a huge plus. The second thing I think is a huge plus is this case. This case cost me about an extra $35 off of Amazon. Normally it goes for about $70, which I thought, if I can get a good deal, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
and
case...
the phone was a review unit, so...
Exactly. It was just so the having that functionality right there, to be able to set this down, I can double tap on the screen, or I can hit the lock button, and this will show up and just show me the notifications real quick at a glance. Be able to show me the time or what have you. That is huge.
Saves battery too.
Saves battery. Yeah, it's an AMOLED display, so each one of those pixels lights itself. So it does save power because you're not having to illuminate the whole display. You're just illuminating those particular pixels.
And you were able to get through the day, I'd assume. I mean, if you like this phone, I can't imagine you liking this phone if you can only get like an hour or two.
There's a dislike that.
That
I have.
Sorry, I forgot about that's what everyone wants to know. Battery life.
Battery life. Okay. The battery life, it does tend to go, like I was explaining earlier, if you do not disable the apps. I did load Clean Master app onto the phone and use the battery hibernation, and that has significantly helped. However, one thing I've also noticed is that the charger that comes with it is a standard charger. However, this thing is Quick Charge 2.0 compatible, which means that if you have a Qualcomm Quick Charger or something compatible with it, certified by Qualcomm, it will charge much better, much faster than on the standard charger. So that was a must. I had to get one of those for my car, for at home, just portable whenever. So that's what it came down to. I had to have that because otherwise it was not charging. It was just being abysmal charging, like in the car.
Yeah, so. No, I've had to get USB adapters, or to make sure they're quick charge, so that you could juice up the phones or devices as quickly as ever. You know, honestly, like I said, the fact that you generally like this device, that you want to continue to use it, that's kind of a pleasant surprise to me because I'm not shocked, but my last BlackBerry experience wasn't all that great. And granted, it wasn't an Android BlackBerry experience.
This is the first. This is Android's first foray into vice versa. BlackBerry's first foray into Android. So that's a very good thing. And so I think that if they continue to go down that road and
he's seeing a preview of himself.
This is Johnny. Say hi to everybody.
We're a family show here. And now Jedi's in the room.
Yeah.
No boy.
So that's enough, bud.
Okay.
As far as their first foray into Android, this is great. I think they need to drop the BlackBerry 10 operating system altogether because, like you've said before, dead OS walking. Dead platform walking. So as long as they start doing that, as long as they go around the Android route, I think they will survive as a company, but I do not think they have a future with BlackBerry 10. I think it's with Android. You know,
that keyboard, I gotta tell you, that's pretty cool. I gotta tell you, that shocks me. But I'm happily shocked.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you, taking the time to talk about your experience. This is really more than a review. It's your experience, which, I think speaks volumes, and I'm glad that this BlackBerry phone went to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got it. I'm glad we were able to make that happen.
Cool.
And that you want to continue to keep using it, which
I do.
It's yours. It's like, congratulations, it's yours. But I told you that when we handed it to you, too. It's not like that was a surprise. Like, okay, the phone, we're taking it back.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Both Eric and Johnny. You can follow Eric online if you want. And I will be sure that Liz knows to put links to profiles in the description for the video. And Eric's actually the one who's going to process this live video.
That's right.
And tweak the audio and everything. So he's going to see himself.
That means I have to listen to myself again?
Yeah.
My nasally drone?
Oh, as opposed to me?
Oh, well.
I have the worst voice ever. Okay, Jedi, are you ready for an unboxing? Oh, by that smile, I'm guessing it is yes.
Okay. We'll switch out.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this experience/review. We're very, very happy that you were able to join us live or not live. I am going to roll into Pirillo Picks now, live, and then turn back to the patrons in the community, answer questions, talk about the news, and what have you as a regular part of the TLDR broadcast. So if you want to hear all of TLDR, a ton more tech talk, head over to chrispirillo.com and sign up to become a patron right now. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from chrispirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through chrispirillo.com.